Okay, good evening. I'd like to call the Tewksbury Conservation Commission meeting of January 20th, 2021 to order. Due to the recent open meeting law, this policy set forth by the governor during the current state of emergency, this meeting will be held virtual. Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I'm good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. To participate in this meeting for the public, you can call 978-771-0819. The first item on the agenda is minutes. Did everybody get a chance to peruse through the August 12th minutes? Any questions?
No.
I do have one thing on those minutes.
Okay.
So in page 2, item A, if you are not speaking, I would just recommend that you mute so that there's no background noise. Okay, so page 2, item A, I do want to note where it says Mr. Onan recused himself from this matter. He did not from that matter. It was a different one. So I would just recommend that we approve with the subtraction of that sentence.
Okay. All right. If there's no other questions, I'm willing to entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of August 12th with the deletion of Mr. Ronan recusing himself from item 2, was it, Stefania?
Item A.
Item A. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, I don't think you were on the board at the time, correct? This was August 12th.
Yeah, I was not.
Okay, so you can abstain. And the chair votes aye. So those minutes are approved. Okay, next is the approval of minutes for December 2nd, 2020. Any questions?
I have no questions.
No questions.
Okay, hearing no questions, I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the minutes for December 2nd. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, next item on the agenda, we get A through E, which we're going to be seeking motions to continue. So I'll read them once, and at the end of the statement, I will ask for a motion to continue. Okay, item A is continued from January 6, 2021. It's a request for certificate of compliance, Tewksbury Village Condominium, LLC, Poland Ave, in Foster Lane, map 24, lot 25, DEP number 305943. This applicant has requested a continuance to February 10th, 2021. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Item B is continued from January 6, 2021. Bond release request. Tewksbury Village Condominium, LLC, Poland Ave and Foster Lane, map 24, lot 25, DEP number 305943. This applicant has also requested a continuance to our February 10th meeting of 2021. Can I have a motion for a continuance of this hearing?
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Okay, Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, item C. It's a continued public hearing from January 6, 2021. Request for certificate of compliance. Tewksbury Village Condominium, LLC, 15 Robbie's Way, map 24, lot 78, DEP number 3051074. This applicant is also requesting a continuance to our February 10th meeting. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Item D is a continued public hearing from 1/6/2021. Request for certificate of compliance, New Horizons Realty Group, LLC, 1201 Main Street, map 60, lot 39, DEP number 30599. This applicant has requested a continuance to our February 10th meeting of 2021. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
And Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Item E is continued from 1/6/2021. Public hearing, notice of intent. Francesca Land LLC, care of Joseph Cataldo, 913 East Street, map 102, lot 52, DEP number 3051122. This applicant has also asked for continuance to our February 10th meeting, 2021. Can I have a motion for a continuance?
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
Okay, Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Well, okay, now we're down to something that we can actually do. All right, this is a continued from 1/6/2021, a notice of intent. Robert Mercurio, 32 Moonlight Drive, map 110, lot 32, DEP number 3051125. Is there anybody in the attendance for this?
Hi, this is Andrea Kendall from LEC. I'm here tonight with the homeowner and applicant, Robert Mercurio. This is the
Okay.
second public hearing for the commission's consideration of an addition to a single-family house. We left the last meeting for DEP's file number and associated comments. We did receive those yesterday, and the only comment that DEP had was regarding providing a table which summarizes the land subject to flooding impacts and associated compensatory flood storage. The engineer prepared that, sent it over to Stephanie later this afternoon. No different information really, because it's all presented on the plans, but it was just additional format. We're just providing a different format of the same information we've provided. So I think that satisfies DEP's inquiry, and from what from the outcome of last meeting, it wasn't quite clear if there were any questions or concerns or comments from the commission. It didn't seem like that was the case, but at this point, we'll turn it over to the commission to see if you have any comments.
Okay, Stefana, any issues?
So I did not get a chance to take a look at the table just because it was probably emailed after I left the office. So I just want to note that. The other comment I saw, which I don't know if it was a mistake from DEP, was that noted the project, the riverfront area did not contain areas degraded prior to August 7th, 1996, and had to meet the requirements. I believe you explained that you met the requirements of this.
Yeah.
So I
Thanks
think
for clarifying.
this might have been a mistake.
My assessment is that all the gravel areas are degraded where the proposed addition is going. So we the redevelopment provisions, and we are improving the capacity of the riverfront area by providing additional flood storage above and beyond than what's required. So my have addressed it.
Okay, any other
Bring up
issue?
the PDF that the engineer prepared. It's a very simple table. If the commission is interested in just reviewing that, I can bring it up on the screen.
No, well, why don't you do that, please?
Okay. Okay, so let's see. Oh boy. Let's see what I can do. Screen 1, and I'm just going to bring this up again. Do you see that? What I brought up?
I don't see anything.
Nothing yet. Okay. Do you see this? No.
No.
Okay, hold on. Let me try this again. Share content. I wish I was more adept at this, but let's see what I can. Share screen. 1.
Okay, it looks like we're getting somewhere.
Oh. Do you see?
I just see a name.
Oh, blah. Okay. Let's
See your
see.
mouse moving around.
You
That's
do.
about it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Brian, any suggestions?
Do you have access to your emails, Stefania?
Sorry about that. I would say that the screen share feature looks to be working. Maybe try selecting another one of the options when you hit the screen share arrow.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, now this is shrunken up. So I guess, Stefania, I'm curious if you have access to your email.
I don't. I can. I
Okay.
can look at my phone really quick and see the email.
I'm gonna try to do this again, and this might have done it. Let's see. Do you see this
Now
table
we see
here
it.
now?
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. Phew. Okay. So this is the floodplain storage table. The first column is just the floodplain that was filled, and the depth of less under a foot of floodplain was filled. The third column shows the volume of floodplain filled, that's 41 cubic feet. And then the final column is the compensatory flood storage. What we're replacing is 100 cubic feet. So we're more than doubling the flood volume. And this is what was requested of by DEP.
Okay, board members, Stefania, any issues? Can you hear me?
One thing I will say about that table, and to me, it's clear on the plans. It's clear that that's where the filling and the cutting will be happening. They might want more detailed intervals, like exactly how much is being taken from each elevation.
Right. So since this is just, it's less than a foot of elevation, the engineer conveyed that, he was just lumping it instead of doing it from 76.8
Yeah.
to 77. I understand that inquiry, because it was, technically,
Yeah,
But-
no, I get what you're saying.
so it is a small volume,
Mhm.
and I understand that what your request is.
I have nothing else.
Okay, board members, any questions?
I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
No questions either.
Mr. Walsh?
No question. No question.
And I have no questions. This is a public hearing, so if somebody would like to participate, the phone number is 978-771-0819, and we'll give it a minute or so to see if anybody calls in. Brian, is there anybody on the phone now?
We have no callers, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. And just let me know when we're caught up so we can move on.
I would say we're caught up and it's safe to move on, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Now, Stefania, this doesn't have to be reviewed by Mr. Hardiman, does it?
Not a single family.
Okay. Then I'm actually good with it. I don't have an issue with anything, and none of the board members have an issue. So, would anybody like to make a motion to approve the notice of intent, Robert Mercurio, 32 Moonlight Drive, map 110, lot 32, DEP 3051125.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Do we have to close the public hearing?
What's that? I just did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then I second that.
Okay. Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Before we are going to have to go back and do this because I have to entertain a motion to close the public hearing. We have to do that first. I apologize. Can I have a motion to close the public hearing for notice of intent, Robert Mercurio, 32 Moonlight Drive, map 110, lot 32, DEP number 3051125.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote? Chair votes aye as well. Now we'll go back and we'll entertain a motion to approve the notice of intent, Robert Mercurio, 32 Moonlight Drive, map 110, lot 32, DEP number 3051125, with the standard order of conditions. Stefan, you need any other conditions?
No, I don't have any special ones.
Okay. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now we're on item G, public hearing request for determination of applicability. Curtis Brown, 2508 Main Street, map 94, lot 63. Is there anyone here for that?
I am. Hi.
Yes, can you
Right.
introduce yourself for the record?
Yes. My name is Chrysula Varadakis. I'm the architectural designer for the property at 2508 Main Street. And the homeowner is also here, Curtis Brown.
Okay. Before we start, I had sent Stefania an email in regards to the plot plan. The plot plan states that it's 1208 Main Street. Is there a reason for that?
I think that's just an error on the surveyor's part.
Okay.
It
All right.
is in fact what the plot is, the lot of land at 2508.
It's 2508. Okay, so.
Correct. Yes, that is
All right.
correct.
All right. Okay, it's lot 9463. All right, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Absolutely. So what we're looking to do at this property is add a front covered porch and a side adjacent deck. The roof overhang of the structure will be on the front edge of the porch and one corner of the side. It'd have an adjacent low maintenance deck with steps down to another deck. The area that currently exists there is driveway and lawn area. We will be using helical footings for all of the structural supports of the deck. Currently, the deck and porch area lie within the 50 to 100-foot buffer zones. What we typically do when we're near wetlands is 1/4-inch deck spacing for drainage on the deck.
Okay. Now I'm looking at this plot plan.
Yep.
Where it says porch, is that the new porch?
That is,
Okay, where it says DE, is that the new deck?
yep.
And there's already an existing deck out in the back in the 50
No,
foot?
there's not.
There's
What
not.
there is, no, there's no deck there that exists right now. What there is two platforms, two porch platforms and stairs down to the ground. There is one area of deck. If you see the DK closest to the house, on that rear portion of that, a deck exists. But we would be infilling in order to connect the two spaces. So there's two side doors. And ideally, we want to connect those two side doors so that they meet in one space. So we're infilling the area there and also adding the front porch area.
Okay, so you're not within the 50-foot buffer zone at all.
We are not.
Okay. Will there be any disturbance in the 50-foot buffer zone to build the deck?
There will not be. What we can do is store materials during the build on the front lawn so that nothing gets stored within that 50-foot buffer zone. No materials or anything.
Okay, Stefania, any issues?
No issues to note.
Okay, board members, any issues?
No, I have no questions.
Okay,
Questions either?
all right, I should have read this number for us. This is a public hearing. Again, if you'd like to participate, please call 978-771-0819. And if you have any issues with this applicant, we'll hang on. Brian, let me know if we have any phone callers.
Will do.
Okay. Now, Stefania, is as far as erosion controls.
Mhm.
We would just have this. Where would you like them?
Let me take a look at the plan. Probably just the outermost portion of the disturbance. So we might just need them on the side of the house because in the back, that area is all driveway. So I think they're okay if they just kind of put some on the side of where the new decks are going to be.
Okay. All right, Brian, are we caught up?
We're caught up, Mr. Chairman. Still no call.
Okay, and we have no callers, so I am going to entertain a motion to close the public hearing for the request for termination of applicability. Curtis Brown, 2508 Main Street, map 94, lot 63. Have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Have a second.
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. I did say a negative determination, correct?
You just did the public hearing.
Oh, the public hearing, that's right. Okay, and the chair agrees with closing the public hearing. All right, so now we're going to entertain a motion for a negative determination of applicability. Curtis Brown, 2508 Main Street, map 94, lot 63, with the contingency that erosion controllers be used around the construction side of the house. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
All right, next on the agenda is a public hearing notice of intent. Michael Saccone, MDR Construction Incorporated, 935 Main Street, map 49, lot 69, DEP number pending. Is there anyone here for that?
I am Mr. Chairman, Andy Street, Civil Design Consultants. Mike Saccone is also here, the applicant on the project.
Okay, just so you're aware, we will take no action on this tonight because your DEP number is not issued.
Right. Yeah. No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, we're here. This is the first hearing of any kind we've had on this project. We've met conceptually with the town, but we'll be at planning for the first time February 1st. So we're really here to introduce the project, get some preliminary feedback, and kind of take it from there. So the expectation was to continue, but I appreciate you letting me know there. So if I may, Mr. Chairman, I can give you an overview of what we're proposing here. Everybody see the screen? Is that up? Am I sharing that correctly?
Yep.
Okay. So this site is 935 Main Street. This is the former police station. And on the property was the police station building, pavement, driveways, parking spaces, things like that. What I have up is a plan that was prepared and presented to this commission several years ago, I believe 2018. There was an ORAD issued for the wetland line here. So the applicant had the wetlands delineated, and we came before this commission to get approval for those. So what we're looking at is there's a bordering vegetated wetland on really the right-hand side of the page here, the western portion of the site, with those buffer zones extending onto the parcel. There's an intermittent stream, Stormwater Brook, that follows along further into the wetland area that is intermittent, so it doesn't have the buffers associated. There's also the FEMA floodplain is at elevation 115 and runs, I don't know, somewhere in this neighborhood here, if you can see my mouse moving, and we're in the floodplain district in that portion as well. So these resources, like I said, were presented, were approved. We're still under that ORAD, which would expire in November of 2021. And this is the wetland line that we used as part of the work here. So I'll bring this one up. This is our grading plan. So as I mentioned, the existing conditions are the police station, which has since been demolished. And a lot of the pavement and parking areas are gone as well, but certainly was developed and used in the upland portion of the parcel. The piece itself, about 6.6 acres. And what we're proposing to do is consolidate the curb cuts, have one driveway coming in off Main Street, and then provide 18 townhome structures, the majority of which are duplexes. Everything on the right-hand side of the driveway is a duplex, and then the 4 on the upper left-hand side of the driveway are duplexes, and then the front building will be a 3-story building with a small commercial space on the bottom floor with 2 residential units above that. So in this plan, you can see how the buffer zones relate to the project. We have the 25-foot, which is in the yellow color, extending here. We don't have any disturbance proposed in that area. The 50-foot is this red line here. As the 50-foot building zone, we've kept all the structures outside of that 50-foot, and then you have the 100-foot moving down through here. So what we really have is a handful of these units, a portion of the parking lot, and parking lot to the top of the page, and then the driveway entrance and parking towards the bottom of the page. That's what's really in the buffer zone out of this whole project. All work will be above the floodplain elevation, which is 115. So we've taken care in the design to not disturb the floodplain. So we're not dealing with compensatory storage and disturbance in that area. So we're above that, and we have disturbance really limited to between the 50 and 100 foot buffer zones. For stormwater, so as you know, the site is at least partially redevelopment, but we have taken kind of great pains to try and fully comply with all the stormwater management standards. We're even on the portions that are outside of the buffer zone. We've got closed drainage system consisting of catch basins, manholes, and then subsurface infiltration systems that will ultimately discharge towards the wetlands. We have two systems, one up towards the front that discharges this way towards the wetlands, and then a system here that discharges that way towards the wetlands. Before I mentioned the catch basins and manholes, but we also have a storm scepter that goes with each of these subsurface systems. The soils out there have a rapid infiltration rate, so we need to provide some additional pre-treatment. We need that additional 44% on top of the standard 80% TSS removal. So with those storm scepters, we meet that, and we do that for all except a small portion of the site, really towards the front. This inference, just kind of the way it worked out, and we're catching this runoff in a trench drain and then piping it back into the system, but it's not getting that pre-treatment. So there's a very small area. I think it's, I don't know, 0.07 acres. So a very small area that doesn't get the 44% pre-treatment, but does receive the 80% TSS removal. So we are complying that way. Aside from that, we're full compliance with the stormwater management standards. And I will say that even though that portion doesn't receive the pre-treatment, on the whole, we are there's about half an acre of, or there was about half an acre of existing impervious with the police station parking lot that was receiving no stormwater control. We are capturing a little more than half an acre and giving it that pre-treatment and giving it the 80% full TSS removal, infiltrating it, and all that. So on the whole, we're compensating for the redevelopment portion and then taking it one step further to comply with these standards. So, you know, as I mentioned, this is the first meeting of any kind we've had for this. We received Stefania's letter earlier today. I didn't see any major red flags. We can run through those real quick. The DEP file number has been discussed. Engineering department, we expect to receive the DPW review. Typically, it's about the Thursday, Friday before the planning board meeting, which we likely see that next week, but we will certainly work to address those comments as it pertains to this commission in addition to the planning board. Stefania mentioned snow storage near the 25-foot buffer zone. Certainly something we can work through. We can tweak those areas. We can limit those areas. There's ample opportunity here to store snow, so it's not posing a threat to the resource areas. The line delineating bordering land subject to flooding elevation 115 is missing. We can certainly add that to the plans. That's not a problem, just a typo on our part. The town of Tewksbury is the owner, so the town does own the owner, and as I mentioned, Mike's here. I mean, if you'd like more information about that, I'm sure he can speak to the town. Technically is the owner, and we're happy to coordinate to get their sign off on this notice as well. During the inspection, there's minimal trash in the 25-foot. There's no issue removing that. And then as far as Stefani asked what the plan is for the fill and construction debris currently stored on site, and I think that Mike, if you could chime in there, that would be appreciated. You can probably speak to that better than I.
Yes, hello, my name is Michael Saccone. And the two issues that Stefania had with construction debris is during the prosecution of several town of Tewksbury utility contracts, we used the 935 site as a staging area. Some of the fill there was excess fill from the water jobs that we have done in the town. and some of it will be used on site when the final grading plans are done for a cut and fill to level everything off and prepare for a subbase for future parking areas. The trash, when I saw the letter today, I wasn't aware of any trash, but that'll be addressed tomorrow morning. I don't have any issues with Stefania's comments, and we intend to fully comply. If anyone on the commission has any questions about the parcel, I'll be happy to answer based on my knowledge.
Okay. I'm going to read, since this is a public hearing, if there's any interested parties, I'll read this and then I'll go back to the board members. If anybody would like to participate, please call 978-771-0819. Again, that's 978-771-0819. I also did read Stefania's letter and stuff. What is the acreage on the area that these houses are being built, or townhomes?
The parcel itself is just over 12 acres. As far as the construction area, Andy, can you give him the answer on that?
Yeah, let me see if I can. Our limit of work, so we have, the limit of work is about 1.5 acres. So that includes all the grading and the landscaping, that's surrounding the houses and all that. But about 1.5 acres of disturbance is what we're talking about.
Seems like an awful lot of stuff, but that's a planning board decision, not the Conservation Commission. The other question I have is, on your commercial property there, do you have an intended use for that? Is it just office space, or is it something else?
Just office.
The reason I asked the question is because if it's a restaurant, anybody that serves food, you're going to need a grease tank, and I would like to see that on a plan if it's going to be a restaurant. I know you don't know what it is, but
I can say definitively that it will never be a restaurant.
Okay, you answered my question there. The only other thing I would like Stefania, the town engineer, to do is, I know this might be a tall order, but this brook also runs by the new school, correct?
Yes.
So with the impact of this and the impact of the school, is there any way he could figure out what the needs are? I would just like him to review the school and this as one project. You know what I mean?
Okay. So
Yeah.
I will talk to him. Do you mean you have concerns with the two developments because they're both next to the same stream and we want to make sure that there's no increase in
Right. Basically,
runoff
that's what
and
I'm
things
looking
like
for,
that?
you know.
Okay.
Because you don't know, I don't remember what the size of the school parking lot is or anything else like that, because that was months ago. Board members, any questions?
I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay.
I have one question. Down at Main Street, is that a sidewalk on the drawings? Do you have that in there?
Yes, that is.
All right. Just making sure. Thank you.
I was at the request of one of the suggestions in a informal presentation that we made.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who really appreciate parking sidewalks in this town. So glad to see that there's, they're
We do
being
as well.
built
The
in.
problem for the town ultimately is that the town, needs to maintain them in a snow event but I'm an advocate for sidewalks as well. I'd love to see the downtown developed.
Because one of my concerns was you have snow storage on either side. And I mean, this year has been kind of mild, but the possibility of that snow building up and then not being, blocking access. And then as Stefania mentioned, how close it is on one side to the wetlands. Just the sidewalk there kind of serves two purposes: to give people a better view when pulling in and out of there.
Yes, I agree.
Anybody else?
No questions at this
Stefania,
time.
anything?
I'll just say the trash. I mean, there wasn't a ton of trash out there. I've definitely seen worse sites. It's just something I've noted. There was a few things. You probably could collect a bag full of trash.
We
Not a huge thing.
no, point taken, and we will. I mean, you see how we've treated it. You see how the erosion control and silt fence is in place end to end for protection, and
Yeah.
we will absolutely go over there and we'll pick up if it's a bag of trash or a half a bag of trash. We'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Brian, anybody on the phone?
We have no callers, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. With that being said, I will entertain a motion to continue. Do you gentlemen want our next meeting?
Is that in 2 weeks, Mr. Chairman?
It's
I believe
February
it's
10th.
3.
It's February 10th.
February 10th. That would be great with me. Yeah. By then we'll have gone to the planning board, probably worked through a first round of comments from DPW, hopefully. So that'd be great.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to continue public hearing notice of intent. Michael Saccone, MDR Construction Incorporated, 935 Main Street, map 49, lot 69, DEP number pending, a continuance to our February 10th meeting. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, vote. Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
I say thank you to the commission.
Okay. Next on the agenda is request for certificate of compliance, William and Virginia McCready, 60 Fraser Lane, map 25, lot 87, DEP number 3051042. Is there anyone here for that?
Yes, hello, here we are.
Hi, how are you?
Good,
Can
how
you
are you?
introduce yourself for the record?
William and Virginia McCready.
Okay.
How are you?
Okay. The floor is yours. You tell us what you're here for. I know you're here for a reason.
We're here for, we finished our project here at 60 Fraser Lane, so we submitted our paperwork. We're just hoping to get our certificate of compliance.
Okay.
And I know we passed in all our documentation. I hope you all have a copy there. I know Stefania visited the site, and we're just here for your hopeful approval.
Okay. Stefania, the floor is now yours.
Okay, so I went through the order of conditions and the special conditions, and I went to the site, and it looks like all the conditions were met. The site looks stable. It looks like everything was done according to the plans, so I don't have any issues with this.
Okay, that makes my life a little easier. All right, and board members, any questions?
No, Stefan said it all.
Okay, so they don't have to have keep up erosion controls?
No, I think
Okay.
they're okay to be taken out.
All right. All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the request for certificate of compliance for William and Virginia McCready, 60 Fraser Lane, map 25, lot 87, DEP number 3051042. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Ronan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye as well. Good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right. I'm getting tired of talking.
That's unusual.
Yeah, right. All right. Do we have any old business?
I don't have anything.
Hearing none. Any new business? Hearing none. Administrators reports.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Mr. McMullen, did you attend the meeting for the Housing Authority?
Yes, I did.
Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, most of the meeting was kind of just getting me up to speed on what the housing partnership does and kind of how they do it.
Okay. I just wanted to know if we had new buildings going in or new apartments or whatever.
No, there was nothing on the agenda.
Okay. All right. With that being said, and nobody else has anything else, right? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. McMullen, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh, how do you vote?
Aye.
Geez, I thought I was going to catch you on that one. Mr. Ronan, how do you vote? Mr. Sheehan, how do you vote?
I'm the last one now, Pat.
Yeah. And chair votes aye as well. Good evening. Thank you.
Good
Good
night.
night, everybody.
Thank you.